seconds.
All right, we are live.
Welcome. We are live. Welcome to Unstoppable AF, where Karen Hall and I try to brighten your week and bring you unstoppable, funny guests to make you laugh and cheer you up. Mondays do not have to suck, but the beautiful part is you can watch us anytime you're feeling low. Karen Hall and I are both empowerment coaches. We are teachers, and we are unstoppable and funny. And we have an unstoppable, funny guest to bring you today. Karen, take it away.
Yes, we are so excited to have Theresa Ashby with us. And Theresa is a strategist, and she helps business leaders with strategies. She helps them to have clarity. That's her zone of genius, is helping people find clarity. She is also the co-founder of Kaleidoscope Media Services. She has multi best-selling books that she is the author of. She is also a professor at Loma Linda University, where she is in the Division of Public Health, and she teaches organizational behavior, applied leadership, and the capstone course for the Masters of Healthcare Administration program. Wow. So Theresa, there's so many things that we could say about you. Her bio is just like long, long, long. She is so accomplished and so amazing. Welcome, Theresa.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you inviting me here. I cannot wait because there's nothing like Monday morning laughs.
Exactly. I have to tell you all about how I met Theresa. So I went to the Indie Book Awards and with Henry DeVries, and Barbie has been to one of these events as well. And Theresa was there, and the event hadn't started yet. And she was sitting at a table out in the lobby. And so I was waiting for the doors to open, and I see her, and I thought, I have to know that woman. I have to meet her. So I go over and I meet her. She is just so warm. I immediately felt connected to her. I just had to give her a big hug. I'm sitting behind the table with her. And as everybody comes into the event, they make a beeline over to her. And I told her, I felt like I was in a reception line at a wedding. She's the bride, and everybody's coming through. And so I got to meet everybody because I was next to Theresa, the star, the queen of the event.
Why not? I mean,
Everybody loves Theresa.
That's what my sister says. That's what my sister says. Everybody loves Theresa.
Yes, and I could see everybody does love you. And she kept me laughing during the whole event.
No, if we're not laughing, what else are we doing? So
exactly. Well, so tell us about some of your funny experiences, because I know you have lots of nieces and nephews that keep your life full of fun.
Well, that is true, because, as we go through our day, sometimes we look at things and we're like, I'm really, really tired of adulting. I don't know about the two of you, but some days I do not want to adult anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. So you know what? Why not go over and play with the kids? Now, when I say play, understand one of them's she's now 20, the other one's now 18, the other two are 15 and 14. So it's a little bit different now, because Auntie can't beat them up anymore. So, but boy, they are all comedians, and we have a great time doing a lot of fun, and just it's the best time to be with the kids and laugh and listen to their stories. Oh my gosh, they have some stories.
And what's one of the funniest things you can think of that they either told you or that happened when you were with them?
Well, okay. So here's a cute, funny one, right? So I wear baseball caps most of the time, and Karen knows this, because it's like, what is my weekend uniform? It's shorts and a baseball cap. So one of them was little. She was littler. She's, it's the age where you're drawing chalk out on the thing. So she's out there drawing all these little chalk figures of the family. And I run across one of these chalk figures, and I'm like, honey, who is that? And she's like, Auntie, that's you. And I'm like, And she literally, and I think she was like 8 years old, she literally drew a chalk outline of me with a baseball cap on. I mean, I thought, so just because when you were born, I had a baseball cap on, and for 8 years I wore the baseball cap. I'm like, the things that they pick up on were just the craziest. I'll tell you. But a lot of times funny things happen when my grandmother was alive, because my grandmother was also a comedian.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, she was so funny. So we would all just sit around and she would be talking to the kids, and then she'd, take her cane and, come here, one of you, and pull one of the kids over and want to sit and talk, and just laugh. Yeah.
That's so fun to have a grandma who loves to laugh.
Oh yeah. It was their great grandma too. So
so it comes naturally through the genes then.
Yeah, it's, none of us are stand-up comedians, but we can have a good time.
You could be. I remember you had us all laughing when you were on stage too.
Yeah, I think humor for me is, I think it's actually two different things, right? Humor engages the audience.
Yeah.
But I also think sometimes we just have to go into humor because we're not really sure how else to have levity. So I do like to have some laughs, and usually on stage though, the laughs are around us as business owners and the things that we think we can control, right? We think we have everything all lined up. It's perfect. So for me, I think getting on stage and having some humor around, yeah, I bet you thought you were going to be able to answer those 25 emails that came in the last hour, but haha, guess what? You haven't. And, just getting that audience to laugh about things. And, Karen, you mentioned that I do strategy and I'm a strategist, right? One time I'm on stage and I took a binder and I said, look at these beautiful strategies. It's these big, thick binders, right? And I had put dust on top, and and the dust went, phew. I said, and that's where your strategy has been, full of dust.
That is good. This is how often we look at those strategies.
That's how often we look at our strategies. Yeah.
Well, we may have it at the top of the list, but then the day starts, and by the time you're clocking out at midnight, if you're actually a business owner, you're thinking, all right, well, tomorrow's another day. But that keeps happening.
Exactly, Barbie. All the time, huh?
Well, speaking of being on stage, just tell us about the time when you had 2 different colored shoes on.
I just wonder how many people relate to this. So
it happened to me.
Barbie's already relating to this. So I have to back up a little because I'm not, I already told you what my weekend uniform is, baseball cap and shorts, right? So you can kind of imagine that I'm not exactly the fashionista. I have to hire people to help me, like put my suit, get it all matched with my job. So when I find a blouse, when I find shoes that I like, what do? I buy them in every single color. So, why not? So, of course, I get ready to go do this presentation. And actually, it was for the National Association of Women Business Owners. Oh. And so I get up on stage and I am there. And of course, I'm being the, here we go. Woohoo! This is great. We're going to learn so much. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How's it going, everybody? Okay, let's get down to business. And as I say, let's get down to business, I look down and I see that the business of black and a blue shoe are on. And I'm thinking, okay, there's 100 women in the room. Do I fess up? And yes, of course, gotta have to fess up because then that becomes part of the busy entrepreneur story.
Exactly.
Yeah. What can I say? At least that moment I did not fall off the stage. So that one I haven't done yet. I haven't entertained by falling off the stage.
Tell us that one.
No, I haven't done that one yet. Wait. I've fallen up the stage. It's not down the stage, you know.
I think we've all done that, or at least I have. So I'm with you on that. I've never fallen off, but I've fallen up. And it's just, that's when you enter and you smile and say, my usual graceful entrance has arrived.
What else can you do? Yeah, and
I can fall over an invisible, atom at any moment.
Absolutely. Well, and usually, I don't know about you, but speaking about shoes, it's usually because I found a pair of shoes. Okay, so yes, I do have a thing about shoes. It's usually because I found a pair of shoes that I really, really liked, and I bought them just a size bigger because they didn't have the right size, but I had to have them. And so, you walk up on stage and boom.
Okay, I will fess up. I have a pair of boots that I call my clown shoes for $1 because they have a sale. And I got a pair of shoes, and you could have one more pair for $1. And they had the most gorgeous boots. I loved them, but they were not in my size. And I had them go in the back. I had them look everywhere. They were 2.5 sizes too big, but they were $1. So I bought them, and I still wear them. And yes, sometimes they do kind of get in the way, but I feel like clown shoes for $1. And people still see them and think, oh, those are so pretty. And I'm thinking, yes, they only fit.
You're still looking good in them. It's all great. Yeah, so true.
But I think that's a normal thing. I think we do that when we fall in love with something that we want. If you find a dress you love, and of course you try to squeeze yourself in, they don't have your size, and you're like, okay, so if I negotiate salad for 2 weeks, lots of water, I'll be in this dress by next Thursday.
Right, exactly.
Oh my goodness! At my house, my husband calls me Mini Pearl because I don't cut the price tags off many times because I'm not quite sure if I want to keep it. I got to look at it a little bit longer. It takes me a while sometimes to decide on clothes, but like you, Theresa, once I find something I like, oh man, I want to get a couple of them in that color. But anyway, I'm sometimes it just doesn't quite fit, and I think I'm just going to leave the price tag on, and just in case I need to read it. And sometimes I'm wearing the price tag when we go.
Okay, but fess up. How many times do you honestly take those back? I mean, be honest. You walk around with the price tag thinking, I'll return this, but how many times do you honestly return this stuff?
Well, after I wear it, I don't. By then, I'm just ready to keep it.
That's probably a good thing to fess up to that you don't. I mean,
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I didn't mean the pre-wearing, but
yeah, right. Oh my gosh! Speaking of, I love how we're on the topic of shoes. Okay, so I forgot. I may not have fallen off, but I may have fallen upstage. But I don't even think I told Karen this one. So we had, I belong to She Angels Foundation, and we're a nonprofit organization, right? And we were doing this huge event at the iconic Catalina Jazz Club. We were raising money for the fire victims of LA. And I had these brand new, beautiful, shiny shoes. Well, I get already in the green room, and I come out and I hit the hardwood floor. Oh. And I am telling you, when I hit the hardwood floor, I went whoop, boom, and landed. And I was like, what was I more worried about? Who saw me? Did anybody see me? And of course, 2 people saw me. The funnier part to that whole thing, besides trying to get up, it's a little hard to get up. Besides that, later I walked back. I literally left skid marks on the ground. And I come and I go get my friend who saw me, and I'm like, Jill, come over here. You got to look at this. I'm like, there is skid marks from where I wiped out. So, of course, she's taking pictures, making funnies, and saying, oh, look what happened to Theresa. She left skid marks when she put her big girl shoes on. Oh my God. So, of course, I'm outside, too, going, shuffling away.
I was going to say, and then you were walking like a penguin on ice because you didn't want to go ice skating again.
Oh my gosh. And these are the things we never tell as entrepreneurs, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah. And men don't even understand it because they don't have these problems.
I know. Why do we have to wear heels, for heaven's sake?
Too much fun.
So, men, if you're listening, just take a moment and truly appreciate the fact that you do not have to worry about these issues. And, you've already had a better day. You're having a bad day. You've already had a better day. Put it in perspective.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
I marvel at the heel thing. I'm like, I see these women in stilettos and I'm like, oh my word, your poor back. I mean, like, the Oscars all night long on their feet.
I know, right?
I
Gorgeous. They look gorgeous, though. They look gorgeous.
But, here's the thing. I mean, I had to live in my heels. I actually used to shovel my driveway in high heels because I couldn't wear flat shoes anymore. For my job, I had to wear them and I was standing in them 12, 14 hours a day.
No.
I never could put flat shoes on because it actually hurt. My ankles, my feet, my calves, everything hurt if I wore flat shoes. So I was that crazy person outside shoveling snow in high-heeled pumps, 3-inch heels. I'm out shoveling snow. But that's all I could do because I could not wear flats for the longest time.
Now that would have been a video for TikTok.
Oh, yeah. I had, that was a keeper.
Well, speaking of which, did you hear about the woman this weekend who was in training in martial arts, and when a robber tried to attack her, she threatened him with her heels?
Oh,
nice.
I love it.
I love it. Yes, they are weapons. When we all used to wear those heels, they were weapons. Now, flat shoes, man, all the way.
Well, I'll still beat a robber to death with a gym shoe, though.
She said that she was wearing brand new heels at the time, and she was trying to break them in.
Oh, that's a new one.
So yes, ladies, you can always use it as a weapon if you need to.
No. I mean, every time you bring up something, okay, here was the most insane thing. I took a self-defense class in college, and I'm the only one that would break a collarbone in self-defense. Dead serious. We were doing like this whole thing, and I was like, they were like pushing on me, and I was supposed to, roll. Well, apparently I was the bad person, so I deserved apparently. And they threw me like this, and of course I broke my collarbone. So I'm thinking high heels is a good defense.
Good heavens. How often do you go to a self-defense class and you're the one that breaks the bone?
Exactly. Yeah, not a good thing to call Dad. Hey, can you come and get me? You got to take me to the hospital. My collarbone is snapped in two.
Well, I know the story. What in the world were you doing, Theresa?
Yeah, well, actually, I think my parents were pretty used to it because I was, shall I say, active in sports and being a klutz, and I broke a lot of bones and lots of stitches. So I think my parents got kind of used to those calls.
I have an orthopedic surgeon, or I had, he since his changed states, but I had an orthopedic surgeon who had no sense of humor. God love him. But every time I came in the office, he would start laughing and say, "What healthy exercise activity has brought you here with a broken thing today?"
Right? Again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
I had injured myself so many times doing that healthy exercise that we all need every day. I had my own orthopedic surgeon to put me back together again. Yeah, good old healthy exercise.
There you go. That's right. I mean, I'm telling you,
I gotta tell you my broken bone story. So I didn't break a bone for forever. And just a couple years ago, I broke bone for the first time. And I was at a playground and my little grandson, who was not very little, was falling and he was over my head. And so I caught him because I didn't want him to, hit his head on the ground or something. Well, when I caught him, the weight of him on me caused a bone to pop and break in my foot. I couldn't even walk. I was in so much pain. My son had to carry me off of the playground. So I get home and I get a boot, and I'm wearing this boot, and I have to work, and I'm busy. Well, at work, this great big guy, he was probably 350 pounds, lost his balance. And this was after like a month of wearing the boot. I was so anxious to get rid of this boot, steps on my foot. And breaks it again. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really careful. Well, then my husband at home, and about a month later, he walks past me and he lost his balance. And I was sitting down and he stepped on my foot and broke it again. And I ended up wearing that boot for 8 months. And everyone was like, when are you going to wear that boot? And anytime I sat down, I would tuck my feet way under the chair.
I bet. Wow, nothing like making up for time.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what is it with my foot? And everybody's stepping on it.
At least I paced mine, like every month. And, it sounds like Barbie did the same thing. I mean, let me at least pace them.
It was crazy. Oh my gosh. I was so sick of that boot. I couldn't wait to get out of it. Man. But when I went to the doctor, he was like, I was in so much pain. And I said, I can't believe it hurts this much. He was an orthopedic surgeon, and I had gone to a regular doctor before. And he said, Karen, you didn't break one bone. You broke 5 bones, and they've been broken a couple times. He said, what's been happening? I was like, oh, well, you can see that on the x-ray.
Yes. Why we can.
I'm like, let me tell you, he was just like, I've never heard anything like this, Karen. He said, I heard your feet. Kind of need those.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the fun things that happen. But yeah, that makes wearing high heels really hard now.
Yeah.
That would.
I'm like, how about tennis shoes with my dress?
Mm-hmm. Hey, now they have some really nice tennis shoes, so I think it's good.
They do. I saw some sparkly ones, and I was like, oh, they were silver and sparkly. I'm like, that might work with that dress. I've seen brides wearing those, and I was like, I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
It's also a nice conversation starter.
Yes, for sure.
I see you wearing sparkly gym shoes with your dress. How many bones have you broken in your feet?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, have you had any entertaining things happen as a professor? Because I bet with your students, you've had some fun stories. Your reaction just is
it's just, it's just sometimes I love my students.
Yes.
I'm curious sometimes. They just have a different perception about maybe how they can go about getting jobs, or they can, interview or be in charge so soon.
Isn't that the truth? I want to be and I want to be the CEO on hire.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, I do believe one day you will get there, but I think we need to just take a couple of steps back. But I mean, when they're getting their masters, so many times it's stressful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my students are working. Some of them are changing careers. It's in the healthcare field. And the reason I teach in the healthcare field is because I work for a very large healthcare organization for so many years. And, I watch them be stressed and, trying to go for the grades because the grades somehow equal my intellect. And they're just grinding it out. And so for me, I try to just come on and just be funny and say, listen, first of all, I don't believe grades equal intellect at all.
Right.
I am required, so by law, to give you a grade. However, and some of them look at me like, but that's all I've ever known is to get the grade, right? They're like, but I gotta get through it. Like, and I'm like, we're not gonna argue 2 points because it makes no difference for me on that 2 points. It's the critical thinking, right? So I do try to bring a lot of humor into the classroom for them.
You'd have killed me. I'd have fought for every point because my brain works that way.
Yeah, right.
You'd have killed me.
And a lot of students do, right? And and it's I'm not sure that it's funny as much as it is like I just want them to be prepared for the real world, because the real world is tough, right? Yeah. And I think having some levity of not being perfect. Right. And I think sometimes, I'll have them get on, up front, and I'll have them doing a presentation, and I'll stop them right in the middle because I'll see their brains just turning and the smoke is coming out. Every word I have to be perfect. Right. So I'll go up and I'll be like, okay, shake it off, loosen up, just say what you want to say, and then we can make it better. But it's like using that and getting them to laugh before they get on stage, putting them in the power pose, and just, they're looking at me. I'm not sure so much of them being funny as them looking at me and laughing, because they're like, okay, I've never had a professor quite like this before.
You know what, though? I think that's so necessary, because if you're a type A personality who has to have an A like I always did, in school, in fact, one of my favorite courses, the professor said to me, you know what? You can't have a straight A through all of college. It just can't happen. But I loved the course. So I waited till the last minute, sucked every single morsel of information I could before I dumped it and kept it off my grades. But but that's how my mentality worked. But you know what? You're doing it right, because by me going to Second City and learning improv, in every type A lunatic like your students and me needs to go take Second City and take improv, because it gives you a whole fresh perspective on how to battle those demons and how to be funny and use your intelligence instead of having it stop you and slow you down.
Actually, I think that's really true, because we do have, I know this is, a funny podcast, but the fact is we do have a mental health crisis.
Oh, absolutely.
And my students are coming with this mental health crisis, some of which just, they've been through so much with the pandemic and, other things, and they're trying to have this career. They're spending a lot of money on school. And so I think we cannot hold back with our true self and the vulnerable stuff. Yeah. I mean, I tell them funny stories about me, like the time I wore different shoes on stage, or the fact that I don't like adulting all the time, because I think that in of itself becomes levity, and then they can sort of be like, wow, she's human.
Absolutely.
And I can still hold them. This is where I can still hold them to accountability. And I do it with my staff too. I can be funny. I can be vulnerable. I can be truthful. But listen, if we are not laughing, and we're not kind of saying, here's my story and here's the funnies about me, it's not giving them permission to be that. And we have to start giving, I believe, people across every walk of life permission to have some fun and laugh, and it doesn't cost us anything.
Right. Actually, it's a huge benefit. It's a huge benefit. So if you're watching this show, take that from today. You know, the reason we're here laughing is because it's so important. Life is too short. It's too difficult. So take that today. And if you're a boss and you've got people below you, make them laugh today. Think forward. Do something to make a difference. You're going to be amazed at what comes back, because there needs to be comedy in life.
Yeah. And one of the things that I found as an emotional intelligence leadership coach is that when the leader can find humor, they can help regulate the nervous system of the whole team. Because if my leader is laughing and they're showing me their human side and they're being vulnerable, then I feel safer and I feel more connected to them. And that builds resilience in the team. And I know you have seen that, Theresa, as a leader.
Absolutely. And I think it goes not just with my students, like I said, with my staff, and, sometimes even with my clients, right? Our clients come to us because they're trying to figure out the customer journey. They're trying to figure out their strategy. They're trying to, with our tech company, you're trying to figure out how to automate and use AI. And when they come to us, that's my job. My job is to help. Okay, I can do the tactical stuff, but my job is to say, okay, let's see what we're going to do to make your life better and create that lifestyle. And absolutely, that EQ is that self-regulation. And sometimes just having somebody that you can engage with it at that level that's light, and like, we've got the problem, we've got it solved already. I don't know what the answer is, but we've got it solved. And laugh and just laugh at ourselves. I do believe that our clients, our staff, our friends, our family, our students all have a different day when we're like that.
Yes, absolutely.
It's true. I've actually had people come up to me and say, well, I can't be funny like you all the time. I can't laugh like you. I'm thinking to myself, honey, if you had any idea what my life is, you'd be laughing just because you're like, thank God that ain't me. And you have to take life stressors and find the humor in them. That's it. Yes. You have to. That's what we're all about here on Unstoppable AF. We're unstoppable. Life is going to do nothing but throw bullets at you. Well, what are you going to do with it? You can lie down and bleed to death, or you can laugh as you're walking with a bunch of holes and going, well, I guess I'm going to need to extra hydrate today. Yeah. So you have to choose how you take life.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been so much fun. Are there any last things that you would like to share with us, Theresa, before we close?
I just want to say thank you to the two of you for even having something where we can come together and have these conversations. I want to say to your audience, just take a deep breath and laugh, and just laugh so hard today, that belly laugh. And I appreciate the two of you so much.
Oh, Theresa, thank
you. We appreciate you. This was fun. I can't believe all the time went by. It was like 2 minutes.
I'm still laughing about the skid marks. Next time I go sliding. I've had plenty of those moments where I'm like, but yes, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, I just want to say then, if we're wrapping up, in the great words of Frank King, if you enjoyed this, please tell your friends, please like, please comment, please share. And if you didn't enjoy this episode, then we just hope you have no friends. Have a terrific week. We love you here at Unstoppable AF, and we will see you for our next show.
Every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you next Monday.